All too often, we know exactly what we don't want, but we struggle to find the words for what we do want in life. We have so many options available to us that how do you even decide what is most important? This is episode 7 of the Neuro Coach podcast, and today we are going to go through the very strategy that I use that not only helps me decide what is most important, but it also makes sure that I don't end up sabotaging myself along the way. Life is full of difficult questions, experiences that leave you asking more questions and offer very little direction. You need a way to tap into your potential and have a roadmap to become the best version of yourself. Welcome to the Neuro Coach podcast. My name is Trisha Peterson, and this is where we go below the surface into your subconscious to rewire the brain and finally align yourself with the person that God designed you to be. The only thing that you're missing right now is an internal connection between today's thoughts and tomorrow's outcome. So get excited. This one simple question could help you find the missing piece that you always knew you needed, but didn't know how to find. Well, hello. Can you believe that we've made it all the way through this week? Every day we've been talking about this equation and how it plays out in your life and how you can use it to help you not only make decisions, but work towards having that life that you dream of, that you desire of having. And so before we get into today's episode of deciding how do you decide what is most important in your life, I wanted to take a minute and just express my gratitude for you. I'm grateful that you are here listening. I am so grateful that you have entrusted in me, even just a little bit, to be able to teach you some of the things that are going on in your brain. This is a topic I hope you've been able to see how passionate I am about this. And I'm so grateful that you are here along for the journey, because I want you to be able to live your life that you desire to have. I want you to be able to be free from the self-sabotage that keeps you from living that life. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am so glad that you are here with me on this journey of learning all of these things together. So I have so many things that I want to share with you today, but we're just going to go through 2 different things. As we go through this, I want you to think back to what we've been learning over the last couple of days about how to manage your thoughts. What are the things that you feel about a situation? I hope that you have taken just a minute to download the equation guide. So if you haven't yet, go to neurocoachpodcast.com and you will be able to download that equation guide, because it's going to walk you through exactly not only what we're talking about today, but what we have been talking about over the last several episodes. As you go through this equation and you learn how to come at it from a maybe more productive way of how to approach life, it's going to help you be able to see how you need to show up and what you need to have in place to help you be able to move forward on that path towards the things that you dream of. So we're going to go over that first. If you haven't downloaded that equation guide, I promise it's not too late. Go to the neurocoachpodcast.com and you'll be able to go and download that guide, and then you can follow along with us. But the second thing that I'm going to throw in, just kind of as a bonus, because I love you all so much, I am going to walk you through my desired outcome strategy. How do you know that that new desired outcome that you are establishing is in alignment with where you need to be? So you're going to kind of get a lot in this episode. I hope that's okay with you. I hope that it's okay that I deliver or give you just a little bit more than what I originally was planning. So as you are going through this situation, whatever it is that you're facing, I hope you've picked a specific situation to kind of take through this equation. But whatever it is that you're facing in your life, you know that that's not where you want to be, that it's not the outcome that you want to have, and you're ready for something different. You know you've gone through What do you think about this situation? What are the feelings that are surrounding this situation? You know the beliefs now that are driving this situation and the behaviors that keep this situation always present, always in your life, where it keeps coming around over and over and over. Now, you may not know specifically what category all of those fit in. Is it a thought or a belief? That is by far the hardest thing for people to be able to figure out, is what goes where. And the truth is, it doesn't really matter. You know that it's all inside of you. And so as you work through things, you'll be able to start to figure that out. But even if you know this is all the stuff that's going on inside me, that is simply enough. Once we understand what's going on inside our box, and we've separated that out from what are the neutral things, the experience, the things that you can't change, we've separated all of those things out, and that is what's giving us our outcome. Well, if you want to change what's happening in your life, if you're ready to experience something different than what you currently have, the next step is planning, what does my future look like, so that I don't have to keep repeating this. And this is where we start to flip the equation around. So you know now that the equation is whatever the experience, that neutral thing that you're going through, plus you in the box and all the different aspects of the box, all the messy things that make up life that we think and feel. And that's what creates our outcome. But if you're ready for something different, we're going to flip around the equation, and we're going to put our desired outcome first. And we're going to put what is happening in our lives last. And we're going to say, we're going to walk into my future differently. We're not just going to change our behaviors, because that only gets us so far. You're going to change the way that you think about things. So you're going to say, okay, if this is my desired outcome, this is where I want to be. I know that it's not what I have now, but where is it that I want to be? Maybe you want to live in a different place. Maybe you want to have a different job. Maybe you want to start a business this year. Maybe you just want to have better relationships. What is it that you want to have? That's the desired outcome that we're looking for. As much detail as you can, I would write out that desired outcome. Write out what that would look like. And you may not have details, and that's okay. I don't expect you to be a fortune teller, but when we understand details and it's something that we can wrap your subconscious around, it makes a huge difference in being able to achieve those things. So sometimes this is just called a vision. Sometimes this is, it's the projection of where it is that you want to be. I call this your desired outcome. We always lead with that desired outcome first. If you don't know what you want, then it doesn't matter what road you are on. Any road is going to get there because you don't know what you want. But as soon as you know what you want, now we can start being specific on the road that you need to be on in order to get you to where you want to go. So start to detail out, what does that desired outcome look like? Be as specific as you can. When we're able to wrap ourselves in the details of what it is that we want, your brain doesn't actually know the difference between reality and what you tell it. This is one of the greatest neuroscience secrets that has ever been discovered. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the vivid vision that you create for yourself and the reality that you're living. So let me illustrate that for you. If you don't believe me, I want you to try this on. When you are sleeping, we no longer have access to our conscious thoughts, and your subconscious takes over, that part of the brain that is all involuntary. When you dream, you don't always dream in what's happening right this second. You will go back in time, or perhaps forward in time, to be able to make up different aspects of your life so that it seems intriguing. I've had dreams where I've been a little kid and I've been swinging on a swing, and I will have a memory that will come up in my dreams, and I'll go back to that time. When I'm in those dreams, it's very, very real. Everything around me seems like I'm consciously there, even though my conscious is asleep and I'm actually not. Okay. The same thing is true. You can project into the future what you think will be like. How many of you have ever had a dream where you've been in a flying car or you've gone to space or whatever? Like, we can dream of all of these things and you think, well, that's silly. That's never going to happen, right? We have these dreams and sometimes we think, oh my gosh, like that is the coolest thing. That's not reality. Like that would never happen. But what if it could? What if 50 years from now the technology changes and we do get to fly or we do get to go to space or whatever that may be? Your subconscious brain does not work in a normal reality. It's not bound by time. So when you start to feed your subconscious with these images of the things that you want to create, it's going to be as if you are dreaming those things, that it becomes so real that you almost can touch it, that you almost feel like you have it, but you open your eyes and you're like, oh yeah, I'm still stuck here, right? Like there are all of these things. The more details that you have, the more real it feels when you go through and look at all of those things in your desired outcome. The faster your subconscious is going to work to bring those things into your life. But it's more than just a vision of what it is that you want to create. That's why I don't call it a vision. It's your desired outcome, because we need to understand what is also happening inside your box. When you achieve this desired outcome, what is happening inside your thoughts? What are the things that you need to think in order to make that a reality? What are the things that you will feel when you're sitting there? So if you want a new home, if you don't want to live in the area that you're at anymore, when you walk into your new house, what does it feel like? What are you can go as far as like, what are the senses that are there? But we need to understand how you feel. What do you believe about yourself? Because you're walking into these circumstances. Now, I want you to compare, before we get to the behaviors, I want you to compare these new thoughts that you have, these new feelings that you have, and these new beliefs that you are developing in order to achieve this desired outcome. How are those different from the original thoughts, the original feelings, original beliefs that you've had about yourself, the ones that you've been living in from day to day? It's no wonder you don't have your desired outcome, because we don't have the things inside this box to support those outside things. Remember, everything happens inside the box first. So when we can take those things inside our box and shift them to match what we would have when we achieve that desired outcome becomes inevitable. You are absolutely able to grab all of those things and have them in your life, because you have the thoughts, the feelings, and the beliefs that support living that new desired outcome. Now, your behaviors are going to be different as well. You're going to be doing different things. So what are those things that you need to do? This is where we start to build a game plan of what is our next step. What are the things that I need to do next in order to be able to achieve this desired outcome? If your desired outcome is, I don't want to feel depressed anymore, I'm just done with that, I know I don't want to feel that, then what is it that supports those things? What is the behavior that you need to have in place in order to not be in that place of being depressed anymore? As we continue I know I keep promising things like, as you keep listening, but I want to share, not in this episode, but I want to share with you my struggles with depression. And I promise you that that's coming, because it's a very real thing. And there's a lot of people who struggle with depression and anxiety, and you don't have to stay in that place. Even this morning, I had a little depression episode, I guess you could say. And it took me about 5 minutes and I was done, and I pulled myself out of it. And it's really, really empowering to be able to do that. You do not have to live a life of depression. Okay, so getting back to our equation here. Once you have all of these things flipped around, you have your desired outcome first. And then we know how you need to behave inside the box. What are the thoughts? What are the feelings? What's the belief? And how do we need to show up? What are those behaviors? That is going to generate a new outcome that is more in alignment with what it is that you want. Now, what happens if that alignment, do you know that that is what is most important? You know, a lot of times because we want to reduce the amount of suffering that we go through in life, we tend to have a desired outcome that is, I just want anything that's not this. I just don't want this anymore. I'll take anything but this. And we don't realize that sometimes the next step in our life is actually harder than the one that we're in right now because we just don't want this uncomfortable anymore. And so I want to walk you through my desired outcome strategy, because when you take what you've written down on that equation, what is the new equation that we're going to work through? I want to make sure that it is in alignment with who you are becoming and the direction, really, ultimately, that God wants to put you on, that it's in alignment with your mission and what He has placed you here on earth for. So once you have this desired outcome that we've kind of written up, we're going to take those things that you wrote down, and I want you to look at those things and ask yourself, inside this new desired outcome, what are the things that you're prioritizing? You know, if you feel like if family is absolutely most important and they always have to come first in my life, but your desired outcome is to be a millionaire and your action steps are, I'm going to work 100 hours a week, is that really in alignment with your priorities? Because reality is you can have both. You can have all the money in the world that you desire and still have family be a priority. So make sure that whatever your plan of action is, whatever those new behaviors and that new outcome that you're looking for, is in alignment with your priorities. So as you look at that desired outcome, check to make sure that your priorities are still there, that it's something that you're still focusing on, that you can do all the things that you want to do without compromising who you want to be deep down. I want you to notice the areas of your life that this new desired outcome is going to affect. Is it going to affect the amount of time that you're home? Is it going to affect the amount of time that you have to sleep? What areas of your life is it going to affect? Because you've got to make sure that you are staying in alignment with the person that you are becoming. All right. Who will be involved in these efforts? A lot of times when we create a new desired outcome, we think that there's other people who can solve that problem for us. Oh, well, if my husband would just do this, this, and this, if he could just do X, Y, Z, then everything would be better. But we don't always get to control other people. In fact, let me take that back. You never get to control other people. The only time that we come close to that, close to controlling other people, is when our children are young. But if you've ever had young children, you'll know that that's actually not true either. They often have a mind of their own, and they like to use that mind occasionally. And so we don't get to control other people. So when you look at this desired outcome, is everything on that list, everything that you are wanting to create, is it all within your control? Are these all the things that you have direct control over to help that come into your life? As soon as you put someone else in charge of something in your life, you're now losing power. They're going to take over control of your life, and you step out of a place of being in control. You step out of a place of holding on to that one thing that is rightfully yours, which is your power to be able to show up in your life the way that you need to. So the next thing I want you to ask yourself is, you're going through and looking at this desired outcome that you are creating. I want you to ask yourself, Why is this change so important? You have to understand what is the motivating factor here. Why is it so important to you? Once we understand the cost of staying in the current outcome and not achieving this desired outcome, now we have an intrinsic motivation to be able to keep moving forward. We have a reason to move forward other than I can't change anything, or this is just my lot in life. This is how we're supposed to be. You want to be able to change those things that are most important. As you are going through and you start looking at these new behaviors and the plan of action, so to speak, to create this new desired outcome, you need to know how you are being effective. Are the things that you're doing, in business we call it moving the needle? Are you doing those things that are actually going to get you to a place that is in alignment with this? You need to have benchmarkers, so to speak. You need to have a way to say, yes, I am making progress towards this desired outcome. I am on my way to reach those things. If you don't know how you're being effective, then it is so easy to throw in the towel and be like, yep, see, I tried this whole flip the equation around thing. I tried putting my desired outcome first, and I keep getting the same results. And we get really frustrated. Your brain is always going to look for evidence why you should not step outside of your comfort zone. I want to repeat that again because it is so important. Your brain is always going to be looking for evidence of why you should not do something different. Why you should just stay right here where it's nice and cozy. Even though you're uncomfortable, it's an unknown comfortable. And so you're not going to want to step out of that comfort zone to be able to do anything different. And so when you have these benchmarkers, when you have the ability to say, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing, and I know that I'm on that path because these certain things are happening, that's when you can say, I know I'm in alignment with where God wants me to be. I know that I'm doing the things that He wants me to be doing, even though this is so hard and I'm going through something really crappy right now. It's just a moment, but I know that I'm on that path to creating that desired outcome. Once you have those benchmarkers, that's when you create your goal. That's when you say, okay, I know what these benchmarkers are. I know that this desired outcome is on the way. So this is my thing that I'm going to achieve first. This is what I'm going to be working towards. You have to be able to have that goal in alignment with not only your desired outcome, but you've got to have it, make sure that all of the areas in your life are going to support that new goal, that new desired outcome. You have the intrinsic motivation that's going to get you there in order to be able to create that goal. And then you need a way to hold yourself accountable. You need someone in your life that's going to keep helping you move forward. Someone who's going to show you the way that says, this is what I can do. This is what I said I was going to do, and I did it, and to celebrate with you. And when you fall short of those things, to help pick you back up, to say, remember why this is important. You need someone to hold you accountable. And that is when real change happens. Real change happens at the other side of the crap that you're going through right now. I know that where you are is not where you always desire to be. But we talked about this before in the previous episode. Everything that you are going through right now is for a reason. So go through these steps. Figure out what is your desired outcome and what is it that you need to think and feel and how you need to behave and what you need to believe about all of those things. And then take it through this series of questions. Is it in alignment with my priorities? Is this all the things that I can control and I'm not expecting someone else to change in order for me to achieve that outcome? Do I know why it's important? Do I have steps that are going to help me be able to see that I'm making progress, that I'm on my way? Do I have somebody that's going to help me be accountable to this? Do I have somebody who is in my corner that's going to lift me up and help me when things get hard. Having somebody like that is invaluable to your progression towards the things that are most important in your life. Having those things and that person is going to make all the difference, whether that is a neuro coach, whether that is maybe a spouse, a sibling, a friend, whoever that may be for you. Make sure you have someone who understands this plan, who sees your new outcome and is able to help you hold to that new desired outcome. I hope you have a fantastic day. Please go to neurocoachpodcast.com, download this equation guide, walk through all of these things with a very specific situation in your life, and you will be amazed at how well all of these things start to change in your life. Don't you love the power of your brain? It is so amazing. If you found this episode helpful in any way, send us a review, give it some stars, and cheer us on. I make a point to read everything that you sent in because, believe it or not, your words are powerful and they make a difference, not only to me, but anyone who stumbles upon this podcast. So thank you for your love and encouragement. And in case you forgot, you're more exceptional than you think. You're stronger and braver than you allow yourself to feel. And what you are contributing right now means more to the people in your life than you will ever know. Today's going to be a great day. So thanks for diving in deep with me. And I'll see you next week on another amazing episode of the Neuro Coach Podcast.